I'm Brendan.
And I'm Karen.
And together we're Fox and Rabbit. We're filming this on Sunday the 17th of July.
Flosstube number 22.
Yeah, it's number 22. We made it to 22. We're still in the old place.
In case you're wondering if we just took everything from home up to the studio. No, we didn't.
Yeah, we had to take some furniture off the wall at the new studio. And unfortunately, whoever put the table up on the wall did a pretty bad job of it.
It's one of those draftsman's standing desks.
Yeah,
Brett will put a photo in. This is what we have to patch up.
Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to patch it up yet. So the next Flosstube we film in Australia.
Yeah, last one. It'll be the last one in Australia before we head overseas.
I think that should be filmed there in the new location. Hopefully, I'll have my act together by then, filled the holes in and repainted the walls.
I have all the models ready. I have a hammer. I have nails. I just need Bren to patch that wall. I think they put about 20 screws in the wall trying to find the stud. So when Bren got it off, it's just like, it's worse than me after I've hung a million photos, samplers. So yeah,
the apprentice definitely put it up.
Yeah, so it's all good. The good thing is whoever had it before us left the paint in the garage. So
hopefully it's that colour.
Well, we hope it's that colour. Yeah, otherwise we're going to have a different colour wall behind us. But yeah, and also too, we had planned to still do it up there because we thought we'd have a little bit extra time. But as many of you may have seen from the our Instagram post and everything, we were flooded in here for a week.
Oh, over a week.
Over a week, yeah. In our house, the floods came again.
Yeah, they were higher this time than we've ever had before. So they come about 3/4 of the way up our driveway this time, which is a little bit scarier.
About 1.5 meters more than last time.
Yeah, some of the houses up the street went under this time.
Yep.
And definitely all the houses on the lake, they definitely went under.
Yeah.
So I think for them it's the third time.
Yeah, since 2020.
Yeah, but I think then it's the second time this year.
Second time this year, yeah. We had the floodwaters when we were in Nashville because Mark and Jim were evacuated from the house. More as a precautionary thing. We were quite confident our house was going to be fine, but because you can't get in and out of our street, it was better that they'd be somewhere where they were safe with the dogs. So our friends Linda and Richard kindly put them up. But this time we did get an evacuation notice, but we weren't being silly. Like if we needed to get out, we would have. We were all ready to go should we have needed to go, but no, it just meant that we had to stock up on food and everything because we couldn't get out. So, yeah, so that was fun. And that put us back another 7 days or something, didn't it?
Longer than that.
Yeah.
And then we had the cleanup.
It was longer than that.
As well.
Yeah, what a mess.
Oh.
It was, look, it's funny.
We were lucky.
Because it's actually, yeah, I was going to say, our house wasn't destroyed. A lot of people around here, their homes went under, a lot of places down in Sydney. And I think the reason it rained torrentially for a good 7 days before the floods, but I think the thing is, it's still so wet. The ground is still so wet from the last 6 or 7 months worth of rain that things are flooding quicker now when it rains consistently because the water's got nowhere to go.
And the previous 3 floods we had as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I think it's underneath. It's just so wet. It's just not draining away like it. And we're on sandy soil, so it's not draining away like it would normally do. But anyway, it's all good. Today, however, well, you've got a long sleeve on, but it's 22 degrees today, so that's like beautiful spring weather. And we were right in the middle of winter. In
the 70s, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been cold. Last night was freezing. But today it's actually quite nice. Look at me in my zebra print. I've only got this on because I'm not in the mood to iron everything and everything else I needed to put on, needed ironing, so I thought, not today. You were going to wear, it was chilly this morning, we were going to wear our hoodies when we were filming, but it got a bit hot, so we thought, not today. Yeah, so that set us back a little bit, or a lot. But it's also quite peaceful here, isn't it, too, though, when it's flat. I mean, the one good thing about it,
do you just want to keep talking? I just got to go.
What's happened?
Lily is eating a big bit of cotton.
Oh my goodness, that's a good look. What is it she's eating?
It's a tail of the surgeon.
I don't know where this dog finds things, honestly. I was thinking, what? I could see Brett out the corner of my eyes thinking, have I said something that he's going to have to stop and re-record? I could see he was distracted by something. And as usual, it was Lily.
Yes, this was hanging out of her mouth like a big beard.
I could see her like...
I don't know if you can see it.
It was like, oh my God, what's she got in there? Yuck. I don't know where that's come from.
I don't know where it's come from now because we don't have the
the surgery is not here anymore, so I don't know. Obviously a long-lost piece from in here that she's managed to miraculously find. She finds everything.
Well, she's had it hidden somewhere to bring out later.
Oh, my goodness. Anyway, as I was saying, when we were flooded in, you know, it was a little bit stressful knowing we couldn't get up to the studio. It's only 6 minutes away and we just couldn't get there. The studio, high, dry, perfect, warm, no problem there, but we couldn't get there. So while it was stressful knowing that was setting us back like that precious week that we wanted before we go away, once we were sort of, you know, realised we couldn't get anywhere, it was actually quite a nice, peaceful rest. We had people, you know, kayaking past our front gate, and it was actually quite nice. But yeah, so thank you to everyone who wished us well. I just wish we could send all the rain over to, I know the United States is drought ridden. We were getting people saying to us from just about every state in America, can you please send the rain over here? We're in dreadful drought. I just wish we could. We've got a week of rain this week coming too, but it's supposed to be just like steady rain, not torrential like it was the last couple of weeks. So we're pretty sure we'll be fine this week. But I'm a bit done with it, and I love the rain, but I'm done. I'm done for a bit.
Well, they're saying now it's coming back again. I
know, right through to November apparently.
Yeah.
As long as it doesn't rain while Marg and Jim are minding their house for us when we're away, because we don't want all that drama again. So we looked at the long-range forecast, and so far, after we get this next week of rain out of the way, the next 2 weeks after that look like they're rain-free at the moment. So let's hope. So that was our... And that's another reason that we have been 3 weeks before we've videoed today, because that week was just a write-off, and then we had a lot of catching up to do. So
yeah, and
we've been practically living up at the studio.
And reduced internet because of the...
Yeah, we had no internet, that's right.
Flooding and the upgrades of the network to fix all that.
We had a whole week off where they had to fix the cell tower. The good thing that came out of that at the end is we got 5G now. So we've got better signal here now.
Yeah.
But we didn't have it for a week. So, yeah, fun.
All happens at once.
It does. What else has happened, baby, since 3 weeks?
My dad's finally come home from hospital. He came home yesterday after 6 weeks in hospital. So he's glad to be home now.
The infection's under control.
Yeah.
He got a bad staph infection of the blood that turns out we found out it turned to septicemia, so he's very lucky.
Yeah.
Lucky that, he got there when he did.
So he spent 6 weeks in hospital under the care of an infectious disease doctor from the government.
Yeah.
So he come home yesterday, so he's been resting at home, eating the food that he likes because he's had hospital food for 6 weeks.
Yeah, so he's lost a bit of weight, and he couldn't afford really to lose any weight because he's not exactly.
And the last 2 weeks, he's been going a bit stir-crazy too because the hospital's been in lockdown because of COVID. They actually moved a whole bunch of nursing home people into the general ward. Into
the general ward, and it went through the entire hospital then. So.
Yeah.
We were a bit worried that he'd get it in the weakened state he was in. We were really quite concerned. He had a private room, but they put these people, and I know they had to do something, but they put them in the general ward, unfortunately, which meant it just went everywhere.
Yeah.
And then they moved him away from that general ward, even though he was in a private ward. It was next to the general ward, and they were worried he would get it. So, but they were testing but your mum we couldn't go visit him. Your mum couldn't go visit him
no one had seen him for 2
weeks.
So he was he's been a bit stir crazy.
Yeah, he was going. We could phone him, but that's all we could do. So he's very happy. What was his first thing? He wanted hot chips and Chinese food.
Yeah.
Were his 2 first requests yesterday. So thank you to everyone who's been wishing Dennis well. So yeah, now they're looking forward to their trip up to Cairns, up to far north Queensland in September. So he's just got to get some walking done now, get his strength back up, and they're looking forward to that. I think they go up there just when we get back from the States. So.
Yeah. So he's trying to build his strength back up now so that they can have that holiday.
Yeah.
He's basically been locked in his room for 2 weeks. He hadn't been able to
walk up the corridors or anything. So his legs are a bit. And he's physically fit, he's an ex-fireman. He, Dennis and Dorian were diving up until probably 10 years ago. They walk a lot. They're physically very active, but his dad's legs are very weak now, aren't they? Because he's just been laying in a bed. Well, 6 weeks in the hospital for a start, but 2 weeks specifically of not being able to leave his room. So, so they're starting to do some beach walks because they live on the beach and get his strength back up. So he'll be a lot better now he's home. That'll go, a long way to get him back fighting fit. So,
Yeah.
What else, sweetness?
Orders.
Yes.
We had a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, where we couldn't ship anything out because we couldn't get to the studio. So we're a little bit behind in our shipping, which we're catching up madly. I think it's
always something, honestly.
There's a hell of a big pile of linen at the moment that we're shipping out.
Yeah, that's going in this next week.
But we said previously we'd tell you the stores that we're shipping out to or have shipped out to since the last video.
Yep.
And there's a few of them. Yep. So we've got Spun Sugar Quilts.
They're in New Zealand, aren't they? No, that's not New Zealand. Who's in New Zealand?
Ribbon Rose.
Oh, Ribbon Rose in New Zealand. Sorry.
Stitches Unlimited. Seashell Stitching. I can't say that.
Seashell Stitching.
Faraway Designs. Needleworks. The Stitching Bug. Deer Hill Farm Cross Stitching. Welcome Stitchery. The Strawberry Sampler. Patchwork Rabbit in the UK. Ribbon Rose.
That's New Zealand.
Stitching Post. Stitches and Things. Traditional Stitches.
In Canada.
Yep. And our favourite Christine Hollis at Hollis Hands Creates. She's got an order as well.
That's because she's a really good friend as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't mean he's got a favourite shop. But also Christine is also on
an order.
A standing order with us every month. She's the one shop that actually has a standing order. We have shops on autos for our new releases, but Christine has a standing order with us monthly. So you can be guaranteed she's getting linen every month. So that's what Brent meant by that, I think. But you're going to list those on Instagram too. So if you're not sure what we've just said, we won't put them all on here, but just check out our Instagram page and Brent will have those all listed. So you can give them a call. Just bear in mind, with the mail, some things are getting there really fast, some things are getting delayed.
Yeah.
They're all sent, most of them are sent on the same day, but some leave the country immediately, some sit at the airport, some sit up here at our...
Yeah, it's really weird. And US Customs at the moment seems to be doing a really bad job as well.
Oh, they're hanging on to them for ages.
Some packages are sitting there for 2 or 3 weeks before they actually get processed.
So they're actually getting out of they are tending to get out of Australia quite quickly. But yeah, gee, I don't know what's going on there, but
yeah. So once we finish shipping these orders, which will probably be Wednesday, I think
Thursday,
we'll get the last of them picked up.
Yep.
We're starting the next dye run, which I think is 25 shops in the next dye run.
Yep. And then that plus 123 Stitch and Fat Quarter Shop will be it before we go to the States. And then obviously we've had orders coming in the last couple of weeks. They'll all be when we get back. But Brent's starting to schedule them all so they know roughly where they are in the queue from where we get back. So it's going to be a lot of long nights between now and the next 3 weeks. But I just keep thinking forward to the holiday. That's what's getting me through. Like last night, Brendan didn't get back here until nearly midnight.
Just after, yeah.
Just after midnight. He was just up there getting another lot done, and I was there till about almost 9, and I came home just because we brought the dogs home yesterday afternoon, and so I was up late watching the Tour de France anyway. So I don't think we got to bed till 2 o'clock because we had. I should put a spoiler alert just in case anyone hasn't watched it or is watching it in delay or anything, but it was an awesome stage in the tour last night. So congratulations to Michael Matthews. It was exciting. I was going to say I nearly weed my pants, but I was so excited. So too much information? Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, anyway, but it was very exciting. The Australians have done so well at this tour. It's like we've won 2 stages now. I know Michael Matthews came second to Tana Pagacha, oh gosh, can't get my teeth in. In one of the stages. He was very unlucky there. Another Australian was very close, so we're doing really well, and I'm just loving it. But I'm getting a little bit sad now because we're past the halfway mark, and it's I think it's stage 15 tonight. I think 16.
15, I think.
15 tonight. I think so. Yeah. So we got one tonight, and then there's a rest day, and then away we go again. But the women's tour is on, Tour de France is on immediately following the men's tour. So I'll be okay well and truly for the next few weeks. So, yeah. So that was last night, and we were on the edge of our seat. So Brendan, as tired as he was, wasn't going to bed because it got really exciting in those last probably 15 minutes. So I've actually hurt my voice because I was screaming so loud on that uphill climb. I was just like, and then he just took off. Oh my God, it was so good. Anyway, anyone who watches the tour knows what I'm talking about.
So we got to bed at, 2:30?
Or something like that.
3 or something.
And then had to get up this morning.
And then had to get up for our Zoom at 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're a little bit weary, as you can probably tell, but it was worth it to see that last night. So.
Thank you to everyone who joined us this morning.
Yeah, that was fun.
Or this
evening
morning, or this evening or night.
Including Leslie in Scotland, bless. She was there. I think she was hanging in.
She started at midnight.
She was there till like 30:30. So as usual, we went longer than we normally do. Because we knew that because Bren worked so late last night and the last couple of nights, we thought, well, we'll just do our Zoom this morning. We went into the studio for a little bit, then we come back and we knew we'd be filming. So, so we went a little bit longer than we normally do. Like we went about, it's what we normally do. We are going to try to keep it to 2 hours.
You've only done 2 hours once.
I know. Anyway, so, but yeah, Leslie was hanging right to the end. She'll still going strong at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning in Scotland. So thank you, Leslie. But yeah, it's good. We're getting to know a lot of the stitches now. Different people each time, but then we have the regulars, so it's good.
Yeah.
Everyone's stitching beautiful things, so that was fun. I could have honestly, it was so much fun. I could have just sat there and stitched and talked with them all day, but I kept in the back of my mind thinking, oh, we have got to get this Flosstube done, otherwise it'll be another week.
So if anyone wants to join us, the sign up for the next one is up on the website, which is the 16th of August.
Yeah, we'll be doing that from the States.
In Australia, or 15th.
15th in the States. Or England.
Yep.
Or Europe, or wherever. Yeah, I think we had somebody from Europe on this morning too.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I have to
miss them.
Yeah, make a note of that next time.
So you can sign up if you want to join
We'll
us.
be in the States, though.
Next month, because we're travelling, we're doing a combined one. We're combining the Thursday one with our normal stitch-along one.
Yeah. And some of those people overlap anyway, but that'll be fun.
So hopefully we'll see you.
Yeah.
At the Zoom.
Yeah. They're fun. And also to anyone on our Patreon, we will be scheduling a Zoom for that too, probably next weekend. But we will put that up on our Patreon this week.
Yeah.
We're still trying to work out the streaming thing. We are going to stream.
Well, once we get the new studio set up, because for streaming I need fixed cameras.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the main reason we haven't done that.
Because I need fixed cameras feeding into a board so you can have the overhead shot as well. And until
so
I get
see
the rigging,
what we're stitching. So
until I have the rigging set up, I can't do that.
He's got all the equipment.
I've got to buy more stuff.
You got to buy more stuff.
Yeah.
Like what, Bren?
Lots of stuff. Gadget
boy here. It's like he was writing. We grabbed some lunch after we left the studio before we came back here to film this, and because he normally has his Remarkable, which is I don't know what to call this, the
e-tablet.
E-tablet. And I was looking down. He's been complaining a little bit about it of recent times, and I thought, this is sounding eerily familiar. It usually means a new device must be almost due to be on its way. And I was looking down at lunch and he's writing it all down, what we're going to talk about. And I thought, that looks like a different brand to me. I said, and he's like, oh, I got a good sale on eBay. And I'm thinking, sure.
I did. I got it on eBay.
Oh, I have no doubt you got it on eBay. What, from an eBay shop?
No, someone was selling it at second hand.
Oh, okay. Anyway, well, whatever. But you always know when back in the day when cell phones, mobile phones were first in, until iPhones come in, I would be happy with Bren's hand-me-downs or whatever. It didn't bother me. But suddenly they'd miraculously fall downstairs and be smashed or something. Every time a new iPhone or something was due to be released, it was always... There was one time we were at a train station and he literally dropped the phone down onto the tracks. And I thought, oh, that's it. Brendan wants a new phone. But to make matters worse, he jumped down. Still can't even believe you did that when I think about it now. He jumped down onto the tracks to get his phone. And then once he got down there, realised it's a long way to get back up and struggled. You're about 10 kilos less than you are now. Struggled to get back up onto the platform. And it was a quiet day, so there weren't a lot of people around to help him back up. And I'm freaking out, screaming at him to get off the train tracks, all for a mobile phone. So you must have been a little bit attached to that. I think it was fairly new, actually.
That was also 20 years ago, Karen.
Yep, he still did it though. Stupidity.
20 years.
And still I will remind you about it because it was the stupidest thing you ever did.
Still carrying on about something that happened 20 years ago.
You must admit you were a bit freaked that you couldn't get back up.
I didn't realise it was so far down.
But yeah, so Gadget Boy here tends to...
and the Remarkable isn't broken.
Fall and break and things when he wants a new thing.
The Remarkable is in the diary room because it's got all my recipes on it.
Oh, that's handy. I hope it's backed up somewhere.
Yeah, it's backed up into the cloud.
Oh, Lord, okay. Anyway, so he's got a new one. I don't know how he got onto that, but anyway.
Because you just want to make fun of me.
I do know oh, poor baby. I can do that if you'd like me to. All right, what do we got, babe? What's next? Tour de France with, yes.
Fabric of the Month Club.
Oh, update. I'll let Brendan address this one.
Yeah, we've had a few emails the last couple of weeks. Some of them have been very nice.
Some have been a little bit nasty.
About the next sign up for the Fabric of the Month Club. It is happening, and it's happening in a couple of weeks. We've been delayed for a few reasons in increasing it. And really all the reasons boil down to one thing is we want to make sure that when we add the new people that we can actually fulfill that.
On time.
Yeah. So we've had a few issues that have meant that we couldn't. So we've had the weather, we've had the move of the shop.
The move was the big thing.
Yeah. And the large volume of shop orders that we're trying to clear.
Well, we had to catch up on. Yeah, that's right. We really do want to get our shop orders turned around within 6 to 8 weeks of them coming in at the latest.
Well, hopefully once the end of September, we'll be back down to 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah, which is what we want to, get into the regular routine. You've got things pretty much scheduled now, haven't you? So that so that when we get back, everything will get into a really good routine, which means we can do the next intake. Yeah,
so we're booked at the moment. We're booked out to around late September.
Yeah.
And then from October going forward, our wait times should be way down.
Yeah.
So the worst that's going to happen then is if you're in between shipments of linen.
Yeah.
Which means it could add an extra week.
Yeah, if we're waiting on a particular cart to come or something.
But back to the Fabric of the Month Club because we're got
distracted.
So all of those reasons meant that we couldn't actually guarantee that we could provide the linen to everybody. So that's why we delayed it. But that's all sorted now. We're in early August, we'll start sending out the sign-up emails.
To the waiting list?
Yeah, so we've got that waiting list, the Google Form waiting list. It's got about 1,700 people on it now. Unfortunately, we can't open up 1,700 places.
Not unless we want to stop selling wholesale altogether.
Yeah.
Believe me, that hasn't not crossed Brendan's mind. So no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So
we are substantially increasing the number of places. So unfortunately, everyone that's on the waiting list won't get an offer. This time, maybe in the future, we'll be able to. But we'll be going through them in the order that they were.
They came through.
They added themselves onto the list.
Yeah.
And we'll be giving each person 24 hours with a unique sign-up link for them to take it up or not.
And then if they don't, it'll go to the next person on this. And it will literally be 24 hours done onto the next person. We aren't mucking around with it. So what's that, babe? It's going out in August.
That'll go out around
September.
We'll start around the 6th of August. We'll start doing that, sending those emails out.
And for the fabric for mid-September.
Well, that'll ship in September.
Yeah.
So the first charge for those will go through on the 5th of September.
Mm-hmm.
And
it ships around the middle of the month. We do the charge the first week and then it gets ships the following week.
Yeah.
Roughly,
yeah. It normally ships around about the 10th or 12th.
Well, the main reason being is Brent often has to chase payments and all sorts of stuff, so it often takes anything between the 5th and the 12th to get everyone's payments through. So, then.
So you already spoke about that.
Yeah. So please be patient. We don't want to disappoint people, and honestly, it wasn't our intention to sort of say June when we had no intention. It was our intention But with the rain and the move, it just set us back.
Yeah.
We have literally been catching up 2 months, really. And honestly, with the studio, best thing we could have ever done, because Brady is, even though he's dying a lot and I'm cutting and serging a lot, we're catching up fast. So we're quite confident now after all this time in the studio that we can get into a really good routine. You've got it all sort of planned, and Brent's very good at planning, and we've got the big whiteboard now, and he knows exactly what he wants to dye in a week so that we can still have a life as well, but still service all the orders we're getting.
We don't have that for the next 3 weeks.
Not for the next 3 weeks, no. So you will see our faces when we land in Los Angeles. It'll be like, now we can rest. And any orders that come in while we're away, Bren will schedule them so they know exactly where they're at. So everyone will be able to tell their customers, okay, I've got a shipment coming from Foxer Rabbit, the 20th of September or whatever date, or October or whatever it is. So very organised young man, this boy.
We're getting better.
Yeah, we are getting better. So just, we're getting there.
I'm still building the systems, and we hope to put the system online soon so shops can actually get in there and see the updates themselves.
Yeah.
But I've just got to find the time to finish
As in they can log into their own account and see where their order is in the queue.
Yeah.
And this is where Brent's IT background is very helpful, because he's actually writing these programs that will allow that to happen. So one step at a time, we're getting there. So
I'm getting there. I just got to find the time. I might have some time while we're away to be able to finish that. We'll see how we go. The other thing is, which doesn't happen very often in Australia, there's a new shop about to open.
Yes.
Called the Stitches Merchant.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an online store, and she's going to focus on obviously cross stitch.
Very similar to what Linen and Threads was doing.
Yeah. And also retreats as well. So Tam's planning on doing a lot of retreats. She's located in Glen Innes, which is northwest
New South Wales.
New South Wales.
Beautiful part of our state.
A little bit cold there at the moment, but
a bit chilly in the winter, but beautiful. Yeah. My family all comes from out that way, from Inverell. My mum was born in Tenterfield. My family all comes from Inverell, Emmaville, around that Glen Innes area.
Yeah, so she's just purchased all the remaining chart stock from Linen and Threads,
which was fantastic for us, because
I won't be tripping over those boxes anymore.
Like, as you all know, we decided to keep our Linen and Threads name just in case we ever do it again, which, can you even imagine it now? I can't even imagine it now. But as Bren will say, he wanted to keep the Linen and Threads name rather than sell the business. And I think that was the right decision. But we're not going to be doing it again. I can't ever see that happening. But so we had all a heap of charts, including stuff we brought back from market and stuff I've continued to buy, because we've had a few ladies on the down on the farm, which is a Little House Needleworks, like a 9-month program or something. Well, I had people on that before we decided not to do Linen and Threads anymore, so I've been doing constant orders. So all that stuff's going too. So Tam contacted us and said, would you do a job lot for all of the charts? And we thought, fantastic. She's coming up next weekend to pick all those up. I said the only thing is I'm not selling the linen and the threads, because I want to use those. Plus I use the threads for my designing. So she said, no, I just want the charts.
You like going into that room full of threads and just playing with them all. Yep.
That's my design room now. But yeah, she only wanted the charts, so that's really good. So I'm not sure when she's got the logo done.
She's building the website.
The website's being built. Obviously, there are, how many charts roughly?
There's thousands.
There's thousands of charts. So that's going to take her time to get that inventory on her website. But she did say her Instagram is up now. It's called The Stitches Merchant. We'll put that up here.
Yeah.
So if you could follow her, she'll have all the updates on when things are going live, everything about retreats. We have been asked to be the first designers at her first retreat, which we happily accepted. So we'll be
that's May next year.
That will be May next year at this stage. That could change. Her dates could change. She just wanted to lock us in as being the guest designers, and we were very happy to do that. She will also be stocking our linen. We did tell her, though, obviously any orders that she puts in now have to go, it won't get sent now until at least September. So, but I said if she can get an order in the system soon, so she will be stocking our our fabrics as well. So
Yeah.
Exciting times ahead. So even though we're going to be at the first, like guest designers at their first retreat, we actually look forward to attending future retreats as well. So so that's very exciting. So the Stitches Merchant on Instagram. So or you've got to put that on the screen. So exciting stuff. And that means now on those shelves that will be now empty, I can put all my charts.
More rubbish.
Which I took from my craft room here up to there because I do want to get them all organised into folders when I get home. And I'm still stunned by how many boxes of charts.
Yeah, but there's still more in the shed. You've got that big blanket box you haven't even opened yet. That's for charts and stuff.
Anyway,
as well.
We won't worry about all that. Well, anyway, it's all going to free some room up at the studio.
Unless the rats got into it.
No, I think that's not cross-stitch stuff. I don't even know what that is. We're having a massive, massive clean-up, Breno, when we get back from the States. We're going to do, maybe beforehand, we're going to do a big council pickup. No, I don't think so either. But big council pickup, so get all our house nice, and it's getting there. It's getting there. We cleaned. That was the other thing with the flooding. Brett and I decided, well, we're forced now to clean our craft rooms. His office craft room and mine, and it looks so good now. Still work in progress,
You can
but
see the floor.
It's so nice to walk into these two rooms now.
I didn't realise I had a rug.
No, it was just, oh my God. I can't believe you had a chair. You had so many clothes piled up on top of that chair.
A nice orange chair and a rug. I didn't know there was a rug on the floor.
So what we've done is we've cleaned.
The dogs don't know what to do with them.
I know. No. Lily doesn't like it, but she used to go in there and steal a heap of things off the floor. She can't do that now. But both rooms look really good now. But like behind in the cupboards, that stuff still has to be organised. But to walk in there now, it's so nice. I love a nice, clean, organised room. So that was a good thing that we had to do, because you know what, we've been procrastinating about that since the studio happened.
It took 2 days, but
I know it took us 2 full days to clean those rooms out. Anyway, but I've taken all my stuff up there because all my threads and linen and stuff are all up at the studio. So if I'm going to kit something up, more than likely I'm going to do it up there during the work day and then bring it home. So I'll have all my project bags with whips and things or future stitching at home, but the supplies will be up there out of our house. And that includes you as well. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
You're just going to fill up there with all your stuff. And
Brent's worried that's going to become like a big... It's not.
And then you'll start filling up back here again with more stuff.
No,
because now you've got room to fill back up again.
I do have a big empty craft room, I must admit, but no. That's going to be more my patchwork and stuff like that. I'm going to put my... we're both going to get a nice table from IKEA when we get back each, and we're going to build our Lego in our rooms as well. I've got my big Titanic to build. I've got my Mose Eisley to build. You've got your Batmobile and something else, your Starry Night. Yeah. So we'll be able to build our Lego in it rather than have it here on the dining room table. Or we might do it on the dining room table watching the TV at night, but then we can actually transfer it to our table in our craft room.
It's going to be scary.
If I dropped that Titanic thing, I don't know what I would do, but I haven't started yet. That's for when we get home.
Just get the broom and sweep it up. Buy a new box.
Oh, speaking of which, Brendan's got to get one of those rumbers for the room where we have all our cutting table and our irons and our serges and everything. The amount of that weird fluff stuff, I think we've mentioned this before, that goes everywhere is astounding. And we've got carpet in the room where our tables, where our desks are, and you just trudge it through, don't you? It's just everywhere.
Someone does.
You do. It's like you can tell that the fluff comes from my shoes and not his.
Well, yesterday I spent an hour vacuuming it all up.
Yep. And then he walked it all the way back through the place.
No, I didn't walk back into that room again.
Yes, you did.
Not after I vacuumed it.
Anyway.
And then I come back out and there's all trails everywhere of white fluff again.
It's revolting. But Brendan's been wanting one of those rumba things for as long as I can remember. I don't personally see how they can get into, like, corners and things. It's a round thing, but he assures me they have little things that go out and brush them all back inside.
Little sweepy things on the sides. Like little wings.
And Brendan wanted to get one on that. Was it Amazon Prime Day or whatever it is, where you get everything cheap? I can't think.
Yeah, but the one I wanted wasn't on
special. But the one he wanted wasn't on special, of course. So I said, well, there's one there for, like, I don't know, whatever it was. He said, yeah, but that doesn't do everything. See, it's got to be the gadget.
No, we need one that has the dustbin that it automatically empties itself.
Empties itself. That's
because otherwise, after 10 seconds on that floor,
it's going to be full.
It's going to be full.
It's you wouldn't believe. I hope it's not bad that we're breathing that stuff in, but it's just the fluff that comes off the linen.
Yeah,
it's amazing. When you're serging, when you're ironing, when you're cutting.
Or in the washing as well. I have to
when you're washing,
I have to clean all the filters in the washing machine out after every wash.
Yeah, anyway, it's all good. It's all good. Do you know what I honestly thought? Because we haven't done a huge amount of stitching this last couple of weeks since the last thing, because we have been flat out up there, I thought this is going to be about half an hour. I thought we're not going to have anything to talk about. I even said to the girls this morning on the Zoom, I think it'll be a quick one today because we don't really have a lot to talk about. And what are we already? 40 minutes in?
Yeah, but we hadn't had a captive audience before. No one will listen to us.
What do you mean?
Well, the last couple of weeks we've had no one to talk to except you and
me. I know, that's true. That's true. Anyway. So, after all that raving on, now we'll get to what we've been stitching. Because this is, at the end of the day, a channel about cross stitch, believe it or not.
Is it?
I think. Well, I don't know. Whatever.
Wow.
Okay.
You can go first.
Why am I going first, babe? Well, because I haven't got all that much to show anyway. So, okay. So,
I've only done a little bit on everything.
So this is in my bag, which Andrea made for me. I honestly, I think I said before in the last video, if I could stitch one thing at the moment, it'd be Girl Tide Welcome. I absolutely love this. I'm loathing the large house. There's no getting around that. But I love the look of it. And it's like everything Plum Street does. I just love it so much. And I don't want to put it down. But I do have other things that are taking my time as well. But I'm taking this to the States with me, and I really want to get stuck into this over there because I just love it. And I'm doing this stitch along with Gary from Gary on Stitchery. The hashtag is Gaz and Kaz Girl Tide Welcome Sal. So I'll get Bren to put that here. He's cursing me because I'm saying he'll have to put all these things on the screen. But it doesn't look like I've
down so don't forget.
Yeah, it doesn't look like I've done much. But this house is a beast. But this is on our 40 count tornado. And that's where I'm up to with that. It's very, very sad. And I know I say it every video, but I'm sure Gary is half done with this thing. But that house, Paulette loves her big houses, and they look sensational, but my goodness. I'm trying to get it all outlined so I can then just do a fill-in stitch so I can do it mindlessly while watching the tour. So that one there didn't do as much of that this last week.
Just make sure there's no threads on the floor.
No, I'm trying to.
Because Lily will have them.
Where is she?
She's under a blanket at the moment, but you know what she's like. She's sneaky.
I am doing the Witchy Stitcher. You'll remember the cryptid stitch along that I have in being framed at the moment. I did ring during the week just to see how that's going because it's been about 6 weeks. Apparently it has been stretched. Everything's been cut. It just has to be assembled. And the lady who assembles it was still in the floodwaters. So she had the same problem because I think the floodwaters are taking longer to go down up north. So they were hoping that she's going to be in early this week. So hopefully, well, I'm pretty sure definitely by the next video we do before we go overseas, I'll have that one to show you. But this is the new one, which is the Supernatural Sal. So same kind of principle. I haven't done the entire border like I did with cryptids, but I am going to try to get that whole thing done soon. But so far we've had the siren, the werewolf, and the banshee dropped on the weekend. So I've partly done the banshee, but that's what. Can you see that? I can't see.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I'm going to get it closer.
It's the call for colours, except that I did the skin conversion change on the siren to be a bit more dead, never seen the light of day, fishy kind of skin.
That's a very messy back.
Don't look at my back, Brendan. Are you serious?
Really messy.
Anyway.
That's actually embarrassing.
Are you joking? I cannot even believe we are not showing people my backs because the backs will never see the light of day once they've been framed. I cannot believe you.
Wow.
Anyway.
How messy is that?
It's really not that bad, Brett.
It's all these threads running everywhere.
That's white. You're not going to see white.
It jumped everywhere.
They're white threads.
It's atrocious.
You're never going to see white threads. I don't carry my threads unless they're white.
They're orange.
They're not, Brendan. Seriously.
White and
look,
orange.
I'm not even. Now, for all those who have been asking me, this is a yet-to-be-released Fox and Rabbit linen. I'm not sure if it's going to be a September new release or if it'll be Nashville. It'll be one of the two, but it's called Oyster Shell, and it's a grey, mauvey kind of. It's pretty. Is that pretty close? It looks pretty close on the screen.
Yeah, a bit darker on the screen.
It's a mauvey grey, and it's really, really good. In case you're wondering why I've got that little part stitched down the bottom there, what happened was I started stitching it, and there was a little, you get those little flubs on the linen that you sometimes just scratch. Well, it came off, but obviously it was white underneath from where it hadn't tied. So I started back up in the other corner. So I will unpick that. I've just been too lazy.
What a crappy dyer.
And I'm using the Anchor Black, not the DMC Blank that I was kindly gifted a few weeks ago. And I'm really liking that. So, yeah. So that's my Cryptid Cell. And the other one, hang on a second. I've got that over here. Where is it? Oops, a daisy. Hang on a second. Hold there for a second. Oh my goodness, things are going everywhere. I'm going to have to go and pick something up in a second. As most of you will know, I'm a patron of Teresa Kogan, which I cannot recommend highly enough. She's just I think she's now at about 1,065 patrons. She's doing huge stuff, so I'm so pleased for her. But her Patreon is such great value. It truly is. I'll show you this month's charts too in a second. But
not as good value as our Patreon.
Oh well, of course. Whatever, print. Yeah, no, it's really, really good. We're in her tier 4, which is her top tier. Oh, I'm in, sorry, not Brendan. Now, part of that being in tier 4, and I believe Teresa's going to do this yearly. So this is the first one is for 8 months, and it's a mystery stitch along. So far 2 parts have dropped. I'm behind, but I want to catch up now. The biggest part of the stitching, I think, was part 1, which is the house. I think once I get that done, the rest will come along fairly quickly. Now, what dropped yesterday were the strawberries, which are next to the house. So this is called Strawberry Manor, and obviously this will Strawberry Manor stitch along. This will obviously be a released chart, probably market or something next year. I'm not sure when Teresa's planning on that. So that's that. But I've only got a sad little start on this. Should turn that up there, so I'll just. So this is on our also soon to be released, probably September, white clay, and it's 40 count with the called for colours. And this is another one that's really hard to put down. I know I've only just started, but it's not a very big piece. It's only 213 by 150, 152 by 213. So even though that's a big house, it's not big like Paulette's one's big. It's not a huge stitch. It just looks big. And I think because I'm doing that Yuletide welcome house, I saw another house and thought, oh my goodness, I love houses, but can I face 2 at the same time? But then I thought, I was looking at the chart and it's really not that big a house. So I do want to be caught up on this by the time we film next. So the next one will drop, I think, around the 15th of August when we're overseas. So I want to be caught up at least by then. But hopefully by the time we film in 2 weeks, I'll be up to date with that one because I just love it. And so, yeah, I think the plan is for people in Tier 4 that every year Teresa will do a mystery sale with us. And she's stitching it with us. And she does live Zooms and all sorts of stuff as a stitch along with her. So that's a lot of fun. So that's also part of my purchases for this week. So technically it's not a purchase because it's part of my Patreon subscription, but it sort of is. And that's all I've been. Oh no, it's not all I've been.
We're not doing purchases yet, anyway.
No, I know that. That's what I said. That's later on. I'm actually. Oh, this is just beyond pathetic. I'm in a group with my friends Julie, Kansas City Girl in the Colorado World, Jules Darling on Instagram, Sarah, Memphis Sarah, on Flosstube and Instagram. And I think Alexis, my amazing world, are doing. We stitch under the full moon. Well, that sounds weird, doesn't it? But we're full moon stitches. So we stitch we have a project that we stitch 2 to 3 nights of the full moon. I completely missed last month, just with everything going on
and this month.
And this month, because we just had so much
2 days behind to go, the full moon.
Yeah, I know. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I think I got home from the studio at about 10 o'clock that night, and I was just so tired. And I have got, long story short, we're doing Kathy Barrick's Moons of 2022, which we're just doing it as the full moons. We're going to change the writing. It's that one there, which I just love. So we're in that top section. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take this away with the States as well. And what I'm going to do is stitch outside of the full moon so I can kind of catch up and so I can be back on track, because I really love this, and they're great. They're great people to stitch with. So that's a lot of fun. So every project we do will have something to do with the full moon in it. So that's that one. I'm almost embarrassed to even show that one, to be honest. Gosh. And I think, is that it? Yeah, that's all my stitching. Not a whole lot this month, because as I said, we've been practically, I think we need a bed up there. We're going to put a couch up there so we can have a little bit of a kip in the middle of the day. Wouldn't need one when we've been there really late the night before. So, what have you been stitching?
Not much.
You didn't do too bad, considering, again, you've been up there day and night.
Yeah, so I've been working on 3 projects, but I think I've spent like 4 hours all up in the whole month. So the first one that I've done a little bit of stitching on is Mary Inglis from Merry Wind Farms. So I'm just getting through the alphabet at the top.
I love that. I think it's beautiful. You really like this, don't you?
And look at my back.
Oh, seriously? Are you serious?
Neat.
This will be a discussion for later on, let me tell you.
As part of the stitch along that we're doing for Hemlock and Rise, there's a Priscilla Dawes. So we have a stitch along with that with a whole bunch of fantastic people every month. I actually have got the border done now, the border joins.
Yay! You're just stitching that on the Zoom side.
Yeah. So I'm filling in the little fancy bits on the border at the moment, which is in the lime green. And then I'll start on the middle, which is where all the pretty stuff is.
Yeah, I was going to say all the fun stuff.
Getting all the boring stuff done at the beginning.
I'm a bit the same as Brent. I kind of like to, if there's a border, I like to usually get that border stitched, because while I love the look of borders, I don't like stitching them. So I like to get the kind of, it's like eating your vegetables first. I want to get that out of the way, then the fun stuff in the middle, and you're kind of the same a bit, aren't you?
Yeah. And I'm also working on Plum Street, a new constellation as well.
I was just looking at what Paulette wrote on the back of it for you.
Cheeky thing.
She's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
you're loving this one, aren't you?
I think not at the moment. I'm doing an oval 1 stitching at the moment.
Oh, that's right.
So I'm not really loving that, but I love the sampler.
You'd stitch that monogamously if you had a choice, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, he hit hit the wall the other night because again, when you've worked long days and your eyes are tired, over 1 stitching at night on 40 count.
40 count is not.
Or is it 36? That's 36 count.
Yeah, it's still not fun.
That's on saltbush too, isn't it? 36 count saltbush.
When you're blind, it's not fun.
Not fun. That's what I said to him. I said, you need to do that when you take it overseas with us when we're rested and we've got time. So so I'm sorry there's not a lot of stitching that's happened this last couple of weeks. What are we?
Got goobers on it.
What have you done?
I've got dirt on it already.
Oh my goodness. So that's what we're stitching. Is this our purchases? Yes, that's the case.
So we've purchased only a few things because we haven't had time. So it's been really good for our budget because we haven't had time to buy anything.
Well, I've bought charts.
Oh, okay. I haven't had time. Well, I bought my tablet.
Oh, I was just about to say, excuse me. Are we going to go punch for punch there?
But we bought these lights.
Daylight. So they fold up into, this is called Foldy Go, Foldi Go by Daylight, the Daylight Company. Everyone's been taking these when they go to retreats, when they're travelling, and the reason being
they're rechargeable.
They're rechargeable, and they're fabulous light too, and they fold down into these great little...
Yeah, they pack down into a tiny little...
Yeah. Typically, when we stitch at home as well, we have these lights. I don't know if I can... Oh, that's come out. Which are really, really good. They're a Daylight one too. And I like these because they also have, if you're doing over one, they have a little magnifier in them. And the light is under there, so it's lit and magnified in the same area. So when I'm stitching here on the table at home, I tend to use that. Or if I'm charting, oftentimes if I'm charting, I'll sort of lay it down like that if I've got a sort of, and I can sort of chart through the magnifier, whereas when we're traveling we don't really need the magnification as much, and these foldy goes, as you can see, these fold down too, but they're kind of a little bit more cumbersome, and you need, and they're rechargeable as well. They're rechargeable too, aren't they?
Yeah.
But these are nice and compact to go straight to our luggage. So
yeah, so we bought them for our trip to the US,
and they've been so popular. We've been
ages
waiting for them. Yeah.
We've been trying to buy them from Daylight Company, but they're constantly out of stock.
They're constantly, because we have a wholesale account with Daylight Company, but just constantly out of stock. So, and they said they were expecting a new shipment in from China or wherever they come from. China probably.
Everything comes from China.
Yeah. But it was going to be probably early to mid-August. Well, that was no good for us. So I thought, we just got them on sale when the Stitches and Crafts show thing was on in Sydney. So we actually bit the bullet and bought them. So
yeah, and
all good.
I bought a new e-tablet. I got a second-hand one. I was good. I didn't buy a brand new one. And it's by Books.
Well, it's good though. You get to try this out. So if you do like it, you can buy a new one.
Unlike the Remarkable, this one's an Android tablet. So it's an e-ink Android tablet. Not that anyone cares.
I don't know what that means.
It's an electronic notebook that also runs apps, this one.
Yeah.
The other one's just an electronic notebook.
It's also backlit, so you can read it at night time.
Yeah. And you can put the Kindle on this one. You can't put the Kindle on the Remarkable. Yeah. But the Remarkable writes better. So. But
it's really handy. Like I said, lunchtime today, we thought, oh, what are we going to talk about? Last video.
A notepad does exactly the same thing, but...
Yeah, but you can just wipe that off, or you can like highlight it and move it to the next page, whatever, so it can be in order rather than be scribbling out on a notepad. Excuse me. You can
and it has an orange case too.
Oh, well, of course it has an orange case. Of course it does. So yeah, and as I said, it's good to buy it that way, so you can see if you ever want. I'm sure there'll be a brand newie down the track at some point.
Probably.
Oh, probably. You put your money on that one. But yeah, no, they're really, really handy. And it's also good if Bren sort of is just out the back and he needs to scribble a recipe or something, that he can then highlight. Can you email it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he can email it to the, device to device. So, yes, writing things on paper and pad does the same thing, but it's not as
fun.
Not as fun and not as, it doesn't do as many things. So, see? Righto, what's next, baby? And so I'm not straying from the list because I get in trouble every week for straying from the list.
What you purchased?
Oh, okay. Well, this is going to take a while.
You asked me to remind you about Evertote, whatever that is. Evertote floss.
Oh, yeah, my floss club. Well, my floss club. Now, this is not a spoiler for anyone who hasn't received these yet because this is June's. So my June, because this comes from Canada, and that's fine because it comes from Canada to America, America to Australia. So there's like it goes through 3 lots of hands. Takes a while, but always gets here. But this time I was a little bit worried because I was tracking it from the company in America. This is from Evertote. I'm in the Leo and Roxy Floss Club. I actually joined, because I love this floss, I joined their neutral and their bright club. So I get both. And the neutrals aren't all neutrals like, beiges and browns and tans and things like that. They can be colours, but they just aren't as bright as their bright ones. And it's just a good way of getting their entire collection.
Except some of my neutrals are bright colours.
Yeah. And yeah. Well, there's a big debate about what's a neutral these days, but yeah. But I was getting a little bit concerned because normally I see it leaves JFK, does the same route every time. because it has a tracking number of when it leaves Canada, a different tracking number when it gets to the States, and a different tracking number when it gets to Australia Post. And I have all those tracking numbers. So I could see from Australia Post it had left JFK, so that's New York. But that was like at the beginning of June. Yeah, beginning of June. And then it got to about the 15th and it said, 15th or 20th, and it said, there's a delay in transit. And I thought, oh, that's new. I've never seen that before. I thought, oh, whatever, it'll get here. It's not like I desperately need them, the second after they were posted. But it was, I was starting to get a little bit concerned when I got to sort of, the first week or so of July, still hadn't arrived. It was still saying delayed in transit, and I thought, is that code word for they've lost it? I wonder. Like, if it had been lost, it would have been lost. There's nothing, My main thing was I thought, if because they'll sort of tell you that you can't ask them. The person who sent it has to ask, and Evertone's got enough to have, they've got so much business going out. I thought, I don't want to hassle them about my threads. But thankfully, they arrived. So these are June. So everyone, I'm sure, has seen this. July's are on their way, which I'm looking forward to. That'll probably get here when we leave, but Marg will be here to get those. So for anyone who hasn't seen them, I can't remember now which ones were the neutrals and which was the brights, but they'll all go on my floss ring. This one's lemon chiffon. Do you want to put these up to thing? As I said, most people will have seen these already, I'm sure, because they were June. I love the names. Green and Barrett. This is great. This is a black with a little bit of green in it. This one is almond. These are such beautiful flosses. Get Up and Mauve. They're very, very funny. I almost look forward to as much to reading their titles as I do the colour. Encourage Mint. It's gotta love a punny name. Oh, well, this one's just mulberry. Beautiful colour. Mother of Pearl. Well, Mother of Pearl is not that. Oh, that's interesting because that's Mother of Pearl. Not much different to our oyster shell, which is interesting because it's kind of
lighter.
A little bit lighter. Well, because Mother of Pearl is on the inside of the oyster shell, so that's kind of cool. Matcha, like the tea. Matcha.
It's very green.
It's very nice. Strawberry Shortcake, love that one. And Hyacinth. So yeah, so love those. They will be going on my floss ring now. Okay, well, purchases.
I don't know if the camera could get any of those.
No, I don't know either. But hopefully we're all focusing this time. I said to Brendan 10 times before we started, are we focused?
I know.
Okay.
I won't know until I get it onto the computer and I can see
I'm telling you now, right now, if for some reason what we're showing you to the camera, I know we're focused because I can see that, but if this is not, it's going to air like the other. We're not doing that again. Okay, Barbara Anna. She does mysteries, usually a 3-part mystery, a lot in the Dreaming Girl series. I love all of them. I sign up for all of them. What she's done lately, I know in the last one and this one, when the third one drops, there's been a small little bonus chart. The first one was Cosmic Dreams, which I just love. That was the one I showed once before with all the galaxy around her. And this time, this one dropped, I think, last week. This is the third part. And this is the little bonus chart. This is called Butterfly Dreams. So that's that one, which is sweet. I love these little kind of bonus ones. I don't know if they're only bonuses if you do the mystery in the first place, because I know the chart is available for sale to shops and stuff once the mystery is over. So I don't know if that bonus chart is in with the chart. I don't know. But it's certainly worthwhile doing the mystery for anyway. What else have I bought? Oh, this is not a great photo, but this is from the Wishing Thorn. I think I saw Laura had bought something from the Wishing Thorn, so I ducked on there just to have a look. I didn't buy that sample that Laura had, even though it's wonderful too, but I saw this one and thought, oh my gosh, it's beautiful, especially when I saw all the colours are in kind of, can't tell from the photo very much because I think it's the original, antique on the cover. But that's probably not a bad photo, is it, Brendan?
Yeah, that's the reproduction there.
So that's it's called, well, first of all, that's Sarah Plummer Sampler 17.59. So it's the Wishing Thorn. And it looks, so it's all in blues, creams, and tans. So the one down the bottom left looks like that's the one that looks like charted from the program. So I've seen a few people now stitching this after I downloaded. I saw a few people online have started that, and it's really, really beautiful. I don't know when I'll be starting it, but I didn't want to miss out on that. My friend Julie, such a bad influence. Julie showed me something she was stitching. I think it was for a gift or something the other day. My friend Julie, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World, who is now with her and her other half and her dog, caravanning all the way across the United States. Camping. Yeah, all the way across the United States. Looks like she's having a ball. So jealous. Where is she at the moment? Wyoming, I think, yeah. So it's I feel like we're on like a travel adventure with Julie at the moment. But she's stitching, this one's by the Calico Confectionery, and I love this. So this will be going into my Halloween stitching in a couple of months. This is called Wicked. It's awesome, and Julie's looks amazing stitched too. So that's a pretty good photo on the cover. So, as you all know, speaking of Teresa Kogut's Patreon, so these are, I'm not sure if I showed the first one before, because she did do the first one and then the second and third. Normally they're all there on the first, but I think it was a week later, so I might not. Are you yawning? You're fighting a yawn?
Yeah.
I hope you're not all yawning out. I hope I'm not putting everyone to sleep.
You're putting me to sleep.
So, okay. So this one, so these are her 3 charts if you're in tier 4. I'm not sure about the other tiers. I think you get, I know we get 3 for tier 4. I think some of the others are maybe 2 charts and then 1 chart for the lower ones. So this is Santa's Big Bouquet. I love the Christmassy stuff. So that's one for this month. This one's Right Jolly Old Elf. Okay, so that last one was just tier 4. This one is tier 3 and 4. Oh, I see what she does.
It's written on
I've got it. Yeah, it's written on it. And this one is Green Coat Santa. This is tiers 2, 3, and 4. So if you're in tier 2, you just get that one. But you also get that in 3 and 4. Yeah, and the second, that's right, that's what it is. So you get the extra chart if you're in tier 4.
Yeah, it's written on the front.
I can see that now, baby. I had not noticed that before. Okay, so, now...
what else have you got there?
Excuse me, just 2 seconds because everything's dropping on the floor. What do you mean, what have I got here?
You got a big pile still.
Yeah, I know. What do you mean I've got a big pile still? A lot of these nice, like, gift things. Sorry about that. Now, there's another one that Autumn Lane Stitchery did a mystery stitch along. I think it was a year ago. It was called, I didn't know about it until people were halfway through. So even if I'd wanted to, I couldn't have got in at the start because I didn't know. I think I first saw it when Julie was stitching it, I think, and she was halfway through it by that point. But it was called Dark Queen of the Seas, and it's fabulous sort of mermaid siren creature. Julie's is sensational. Anyway, but I thought, no, that's too much stitching to get into. When it's a monthly sale, I thought, no, I'm never going to catch up. So I thought, that's okay. I can live without it. But just this month, Dark Queen of the Earth sale, mystery sale, has been announced by Autumn Lane Stitchery. And I thought to myself, oh, it's a series. So, and I love anything to do with the elements. So I'm assuming, maybe rightly or wrongly, that there'll be air and fire coming up at some point down the track. But earth is my favorite element. So I thought, I was talking to Julie and Alexis and all my stitchy friends, and they're all doing it, and it's starting. You can sign up for it now. It starts, part 1 drops in September, but you can buy at the moment they've got fabulous 3 different needle minders. There's 3, but I bought 2 of them. I bought Life and Death, and I also bought the Bead Pack. So the Bead Pack comes from hand dyed by Stephanie. Is that, no, what's it called? Under the Sea Fabrics. Oh.
Wow.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't even think. I think it's Under the Sea Fabrics. Leslie. It's Leslie. Which one's that?
I don't know. Look it up.
It's Leslie. It's Under the Sea Fabrics. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm so tired, in my defense, because she's also doing 2 different linens. Bren will obviously put this up here. If I've completely stuffed that up and it's not Under the Sea Fabrics, then Bren will do that. But Leslie's doing 2 different fabrics for it. Obviously, we're going to dye our own, but I've bought the bead pack off her, and I've bought the charts and the needle minders off Autumn Lane Stitchery. So I'll be all ready to start that come September and hopefully keep up, because it looks really, like every month I think is pretty intense stitching. But because of that, I thought, well, I can't have Dark Queen of the Earth and then potentially other ones without having Dark Queen of the Seas. So, of course, I went and bought Dark Queen of the Seas. So that's that one, which I'm sure all of you have seen. I also bought from what I understand, and as I said, I didn't do that sale, but there looks like as you go along, there are some alternate things you can do to personalize her to make her your own, including hair color. I believe with Dark Queen of the Seas, there was like a kind of a soft face, and there was kind of like a mean face, if you want to call it. I kind of like the mean face. But there was one point where she's holding like a magic, like in this photo, you see she's holding like a magic whirly thing in her hand. The alternate one was that she could hold a skull. So you could buy...
and boobies.
Oh, yeah, and the one was where she was fully... clothed, still rather well endowed young siren, or the other one she was bare-chested. I know Julie did the one with bare-chest. How did Julie? Oh, I see. So yeah.
It's all blurred out.
Mine will be clothed. Sorry.
It's all blurred out so that
yeah,
people don't get excited by cross-stitch
that's
boobs.
right. I haven't 100% decided yet. Julie's looks fabulous, but I do like her with the clothing on as well. I don't know, a bit weird stitching. I don't know how. I'll decide that when I get to it. But as I said, Julie's looks fabulous. So, but I am definitely going to do the skull. I know that, and I think I'm going to do like the fierce face rather than the soft face. I think. I don't know about the hair color, but it was a really weird thing for anyone buying this from Autumn Lane. Just I couldn't work out, because it says on the back of the chart, if you want those add-ons, the additional things with the face and the chest and everything else, it's an extra add-on thing. I couldn't find. I could find there's 3 up. There's the chart, the hair color variations, and the chart for all the other variations. I could not find it anywhere, and I thought, what am I not seeing? And I was just about to email them and ask when I looked closely, and it says for the extras, so for this one, it's on the Autumn Lane Etsy site. I had bought this off their regular website, but if you want the extras and you can't see them there, it's actually on their Etsy site for the extras chart. Just for anyone who might be going to do that, who's a bit like me and is going to join in the Dark Queen of the Earth sale and wants to do the sea one, that's where you find the 2 different charts. So, yes. So, I feel like I'm mad, but I'm going to actually do that. So, and just a couple of other little things. I just love magazines. So we just called in the newsagents today and bought, this is not stitching related, but with things being, a little bit manic out there at the moment, this is a great magazine. I don't know if this is just Australian, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it might be just an Australian magazine. For any Aussies watching, this is one of my favourite magazines. This is called The Simple Life. And it's just lovely. It's got great recipes. Just not recipes only, but like, well, there's a recipe here. Why we love a windmill. The tale of Beatrix Potter. How brownies always help. A just for you day. What you can just do to pamper yourself. A G&T drizzle cake. Baby, you'd like that. Bathtub ponds, beautiful nests and indoor jungles. So they have like gardens and things. It's just a really, really lovely magazine when you just want to unwind and just step off the crazy train for a while. Now, Brendan picked this one out for me at the newsagent today. I don't know what it says about me, but you knew I'd love this. This is called Book of Death, Myths, Misconceptions, and the Remarkable Evolution of Death Beliefs. I know that sounds extremely morbid, and some people are probably thinking, why are we watching this person? But it's just, I have a fascination with all things dark and serial killer-ish, and like there's things like Jack the Ripper and all that sort of stuff. So that's a fascinating one. I'm actually looking forward to it. Believe it or not, that will be a good relaxation magazine for me to read later. And now there's another thing. Everyone knows about my obsession with Titanic, and I'm going to build my massive 50-foot-long Lego Titanic when we get back from the States. But there's a weekly part now going to the newsagents. Now, I'll show you the whole thing. I'll pull this off later. But this issue was only $4.99, and then I think they're $12 every issue. But you literally make to scale Titanic. So it's all like plywood. It's one of those mini model type things. So, sorry, baby. So that's the photo of it. Yeah, there's a lot of little...
Oh, little fiddly bits.
A lot of fiddly little... It's 1 to 200 scale. I can't even get it off here to show you now. But basically, you can see... Oh, that's all the little itty-bitty pieces for part 1. And again, I'm not going to start that.
How many hundreds of parts are there, but...
Well, yeah, probably.
It's supposed to tell you.
Do we even want to know? I don't want to know, Brent, because it means what it's going. But it's only once a month. No, is it every 2 weeks?
It's every 2 weeks, and then from issue 10, it's every week.
Oh, okay.
It's got to say on here somewhere how many.
Oh, I don't think I want to know. Brendan? Do I really want to know? This is where I prefer to live in, like, you know.
We don't know how much of your life you're going to be waiting for this.
What's more, what is it going to cost by the end?
It's probably going to cost like $10,000.
Probably going to cost as much as Titanic.
It's massive.
Oh, don't even tell me how big it. Oh, wow, it's 1.3 meters long.
So what's that? 4 foot something.
Oh, okay, that's almost 5. That's about 4.5 feet. Oh wow, that's going to be humongous. Oh, that's going to be excellent though.
Probably have to go onto the website to see.
Yeah.
There are.
Anyway. But it comes with a booklet
It's actually got working lights and stuff.
That's what I said to you. It's got lights and all parts that work in it.
And sirens and sound effects and smoke coming from the funnel.
You're going to have to help me with it because I'm not going to know.
The engine actually moves and the propellers move.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing.
Wow.
I thought you can help me build it, baby, because I will be hopeless. Look at all these bits. Look at that.
That's putting on all the...
Yeah. So that's exciting. So that's in the newsagents now in Australia for anyone. That's part 1. It's a museum quality model, so it's supposed to be really, really intricate.
So it's going to be like part 1 of 10,000.
Probably. It's probably going to cost half a house mortgage by the time it's finished. But I am very, very excited about that. So
you probably have to subscribe, but so you don't miss a month.
Well, that's my only... It says die-cast hull parts. It's actually really well made by the look of it. Yeah, that was my only concern. I said to them at the newsagent...
I don't know how well made it's going to be because you and I are making it.
Well, you and I make all true. Thank you, babe. You're going to help me make it. But Brent did say you've got to be careful with those things because they start off at like $4.99 and then they're $12 or whatever. But I just had to ask at the newsagent. I said, as he said, sometimes they get that first part in just to get everyone in and then they don't get the rest. But they said they are getting it all in. So... but yeah, it might be good. I might duck on there and just see if I can subscribe because I would prefer to know.
Well, that way you won't miss out.
Well, that way you know you.
Because if you miss out on one packet and then you can't make the ship.
No, it won't have the anchor or something.
You won't have the side or something.
No, I know. Yes, so that's going to be a bit of fun.
And it will sink quicker.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun. So I'm going to have a Titanic. Like model, and I'm going to have a Titanic Lego model.
I think that's bigger than the Lego model. I think the Lego model.
It's actually that's almost the length of this tape. It's 1.35 meters anyway, and I think that's about 4. Well, I'm 1 meter 55 my height, and that's 5'2". So if it's 1 meter 34, that's about 4.5 feet.
Mm.
Holy cow, that's going to be massive. I thought it was going to be like this big. But no, it's going to be Titanic. Yep. See what I did there?
Where you put it?
Well, that's going to have to live in that room that's got nothing in it at the moment. I'm going to have Titanic Lego on one table and Titanic scale model on another. I need 2 tables now. You've got to help me with it, baby. It looks very hard.
So 2
I
tables.
thought it was going to be easy, but it looks like it's complicated.
$600 for 2 tables.
And about $3,000 for the model.
Probably about $20,000 in the end.
It's
for the
finished.
Titanic model.
Yikes. So that's all my purchases. Yes. What's next? Gifts. Where do we even start? I don't even know where to start. People have been so kind.
Well, you gave me a list.
Okay, well, that you can show. I'm so sorry. We actually got this just before our last video, and I printed it out and completely forgot because I had it in another room to kit up, which I still have got to do. Well, actually, Bren's he's gonna dye me some of that white clay, which is going to be one of our new releases. The one I'm doing the Teresa Kogut one on, and I want to do this one on the white clay as well. So this is from Mama Loves You GB.
So it's a brand new design.
Yep. Well, it's one of her beautiful. Keep an eye on Michelle's releases because she's reproducing quite a lot of beautiful samplers. This is Susanna Eccles 1853. I like it because it's not going to take long to stitch. And so she kindly gifted us that, and I really appreciate it, Michelle. Thank you so much, and I absolutely will be stitching
But
it.
she's got the whole history.
Oh yeah, she researches things so well. She was so kind because with Mary Morgan's, because that has a Welsh background. I'm pointing because it's right behind me. She was out of the blue. Michelle just sent us all this information she found out from Wales and everything, and she was just so incredibly kind. And this was a lovely thing to wake up to. It was just like, oh, I thought you might like this. So I was like, oh yeah, we sure do. So she's done a great job reproducing it. The chart is clear. The information's fantastic, and I think that will stitch up really quickly. And it's all in DMC, isn't it?
It's in a bit of everything. So it's DMC.
Oh, I thought it was DMC. Oh, it is too. It's got Week Star Works, Gentle Art, Classic Colourworks. But majority of it's, there's only 3. There's 1,
2.
Hickory Sticks, Caramel Corn, Brown Sugar, and Bark. The rest of it is DMC. So that's nice. I like a combination of the 2 where you get a little bit of variation in parts and DMC.
But she's also given suggestions if you don't want to use the over dyes to how to get the similar effect through blending.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, great attention to detail. So thank you, Michelle.
A full color chart and
the
full black and white chart,
and it's charted beautifully.
Yeah, and I said that she's got all a whole bunch of history about Susanna as well, including a marriage certificate.
Oh, I love seeing all that beautiful handwriting on those certificates back in the day. So that was a lovely surprise. Thank you so much. And again, my apologies not for mentioning that last video. Okay, we Michelle Garrett, Benny Stitchy ran for anyone that does her she live streams on Twitch a lot, and she decided to run the Great Twitch Bird Migration, I think it was called. Anyway, we all said, would we like to stitch a small bird of some description? Brent and I thought, yeah, that sounds like fun. Let's do it. So what happens, Michelle assigned everyone partners. So basically you had to stitch something for that person, get it away. I think we had 3 months to stitch it. Leslie, who was on our Zoom this morning, she was my partner, and that arrived. And actual Brendan's, I think you haven't heard from your lady, but the tracking said it's arrived.
Yeah, so she's got it.
We put a picture of what I sent last time. Brendan will put a picture of what he sent. Well, he sent some fabric and stuff as well, but this is the one that he did, because the lady liked mythical creatures and stuff. So he thought, well, what kind of bird? I'll do a phoenix.
Yeah.
And I finished it for him. No, baby. I didn't think we had a photo. Actually, I didn't realize Brent had taken a photo. Because I like
take the credit for all my work by saying you finished it.
I did. Did you finish it?
No.
Exactly. But no, he did a really nice job on that. So, and what was that piece? That was a freebie from Sassy Jacks at the start of 2020.
Yeah. The
entire thing, he cut it down to make it smaller. So it was just the Phoenix, but the entire thing was 2020 and 2021 rising out of the ashes, out of the flames. So I thought that was, you want to stitch it again, don't you?
Yeah, I'll stitch the whole thing for me.
Yeah. So yeah. So then we received our our partners stitching for us. So Brendan's is from
Micah, who's the ADHD stitcher
on YouTube and Instagram,
and she stitched me a Bigfoot
with birds,
with blackbirds,
yeah. Ravens.
And she also
Brenda loves it.
Sent me a thread as well.
It's so lovely when people don't notice the little things we say. Brent had mentioned on a Flosstube at some point.
Matches my shirt.
It does. That Embers is one of his, from Classic Colourworks, is one of his favourite oranges. And she obviously had noticed that, which was lovely. And you got a lovely card.
Yeah.
Now I have to make that into something for him. But we wanted to show it to you before. I haven't had time to make it in there.
Before you wrecked it.
I'm not going to wreck it. There is a lot of pressure when it's not something I've done. When somebody sends you something, I was a little bit like that with mine too. When it got here, I thought, oh, I had to cut it down to get it in the frame. I thought, oh, I hope I'm doing this right and I don't miscut. Because mine came, hang on a minute. Oh my goodness. Julia, was it? Yeah, Julia. I got mine. And the thing is, we were going to be filming this up at the studio, so I had all the extras that Julia sent with this up there to show. And when I was grabbing things to bring home, I completely forgot because it's on my desk. So I'll put a photo. This is the photo I took just of everything as it arrived. So Brett will insert that photo here. But it's great because it means I can now wear the socks. But again, she took notice of everything from things. I just cried, of course. I was just like overwhelmed with all the lovely things that she sent. There were chocolates in in the photo. There are no chocolates because Brendan grabbed those within 3 seconds of the thing around. They were already gone by the time I took the photograph. But it was lucky because when I went up to pick up my my primitive needle one, the Moonsick chart that I had framed, up at Cunningham's Framing, up at Raymond Terrace, they have a lot of ones. I guess they just knock them together from their offcuts and things like that. And they sell these frames for like $5. Some of them are like triple frames and things. It's amazing. I don't think I've ever paid any more than $5 for one. But I grabbed quite a few of them because I thought there's always bound to be a little small, because I love to hang things on a wall. I'm very big at having all the things I love around me. Whether that be in a little frame thing sitting on the desk or a pin push, I like to have everything near me. That results in not a lot of wall space or desk space sometimes, but I do love to see them every day.
Space in here.
Anyway, there is back at the studio though. I'm slowly starting to fill what's behind me in my office, behind my desk. But I couldn't believe it. This actually fit perfectly. So I cut this thing down, had it stretched within probably, what do you reckon, 10 minutes of me getting it. I was so excited. It's so beautiful. This is, oh my God. And see, because I've left it all up there, I don't have, oh my gosh. It's by Lindy Stitches, I'm sure. I will put this up here because the name has just gone out of my little, I think it's,
well, only if you
I think it's
remember it
called
before I put the video
For Love Is In What. Yes, if I don't, I'll tell you next video. Yeah, because you got to get this up today if we can. But anyway, so this is it, and I just love it so much. I'm sure it's Lindy Stitches. Sure it is. Oh, I hate it when I blank on names. It's what happens when you're tired. But what I love about this, she knows I love everything all dark and Halloweeny and stuff as well, so hence the dark fabric. But also too, she stitched the two lovebirds in green, which is my favourite colour, and orange, which is Brendan's favourite colour. That, I was so touched by that. And not only that, this is the first time she's ever stitched over one. So first of all, I was very moved that she chose something to stitch for me as her first over one piece. But how fabulous. That is directly behind me at my desk up at the studio where I can see that beauty every day. I was just very, very moved by that, and I will treasure that. So thank you, Julia. And like I said, I'm sure that's, and the good thing is that was in my pile of to-dos, and I think she had noticed when I did that great big chart parade that day, I think she noticed that was one of the ones that I was on my to-do list. So that's one less thing I have to stitch now. But what's great, she actually knows I love Plum Street samplers, and she thought originally she was going to pick a bird from Plum Street, but then she was worried that knowing how many of those I've stitched or want to stitch, I've probably done it. But she couldn't have picked a better thing to stitch for me. So thank you. Okay, now my friend Vicky, Stitch and Button. She makes all the beautiful project bags. We first met Vicky at Nashville Market about 4 or 5 years ago. She's an absolute riot. Vicky's one of those people that always makes you laugh. Like she always has me smiling, that woman. But anyway, she was doing she's on Flosstube, so it's Stitch and Button. She was doing a kit parade, probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago. Maybe less time. And she was going through a million kits that she's got there. And she came to one that I noticed, because I love all things to do with the sea, mermaids, sirens, boats, anything like that. And I know Brendan loves them too, so it's nice to have them in our home. And I said to her, oh, I love this mermaid drum. I said, when you're finished stitching that, if no one has claimed it or asked, can I borrow that from you or buy it from you, whichever, and didn't think any more about it. And then in the mail this last week came the complete kit. So, the fabric's here. So I've dropped the fabric's on the ground there. So it's the fabric, the floss, all of the beautiful, looks like it's hand dyed. It's probably by Dames of the Needle, I think. Yeah. So, and Nan Lewis from Threadwork Primitives. So I'm not sure who. I think it's Threadwork Primitives. So I'm not sure, but I just know I like the design. So she just sent me the complete kit, and I was like, oh, not only that, she said it's the complete kit, and she said you got a couple. Oh, I don't know where. I don't know. Oh, there's some here. From when Brett and I were in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, going to see All Things Mothman, I took photos and posted them all. Well, Vicky made me. Oh, I don't think they're not all here. They're in my bag. But a heap of stickers from that trip.
And an important sticker.
There's obviously. And there was another one for you too, but I've got them in the bag, I think. But she also made me a fridge magnet. That's me with the Mothman statue. So that's a magnet on our fridge now. Oh, Peaches. You call her Brendan?
Peachy.
She's barking at the builders next door. Yeah, so that's on our fridge up at the studio, but I had to remember to grab it. So thank you, Vicky. Yeah, and I obviously I emailed her immediately and said, what is this? I just was wanting to, borrow the chart. She said, well, I figured you'd enjoy the kit more than I would. So I was like, yes, I would, because it's lovely. So I will definitely stitch that. I'm not quite sure who the designer is. I feel terrible. It's a little bit vague.
Yes.
Well, it's both though, isn't it?
So a collaboration.
Oh, it's a collaboration. But does that mean that the overdye? Does that mean that's Dames of the Needle?
That'll be the Dames of the Needle, that pack.
Yeah, and I think the design is by Threadwork Primitives. I'm pretty sure the design. It looks like Nan's thing, I think. Sorry if I have stuffed any of that up. But yeah, so thank you, Vicky. I love that so much. Okay, then my friend Paulette, she contacted me and said, I've got your birthday present, but it's going to be a little late getting to you. Do you want to know what it is now, or are you happy to be surprised? So, well, anyway, she mailed it, but she mailed it in late May, and it just arrived this past week. When we're looking at the tracking, it looked like it went all over the United States, and then I think it went to Hong Kong, and then to Japan, and I think then to Singapore, and then all over Australia, and it finally got here. And I said to her, look, don't worry, because at least it's not lost. It's just doing a great big world tour to get to me. So from my birthday that she posted, which was the start of May, she posted, I think, because she was waiting, she said, I'm having something made for you, and that's why it will be a wait towards the end of May. So what's that? June. So that's like 2 months to get here. But it got here. And what she did, there's a company called Spoonflower. Oh, there we are, I remembered it. Spoonflower. And she had this fabric done for me. So Spoonflower does like short runs of fabric, like, so, you know, you don't have to buy bolts of it. You can buy a meter or 2 meters or something, and they will print it especially for you. I had one done a while back with fireflies all over it, which was beautiful. Well, she got a little Mothman fabric, and so she ordered the fabric for me, which is just for me, and her friend then made the bag and also a little cosmetic bag, which is lined with plastic for when I travel. So this is from my beautiful friend Paulette. And it is just, and that's the Mothman fabric she had made for me. I'm just so thrilled. I just love it. She gave me because obviously she was at market, and so she brought into our room a little Mothman pin as well, which Brent's going to make into a needle minder for me. But that's the bag. So that one's been lined with vinyl so that I can put my makeup in there for when I travel. And I also got the spare, so what was left of the fabric, so I can now make something again. It's quite a long piece actually, so it's a big long piece. So that's what was left over from, obviously I'm guessing a meter or maybe 2 meters that she had to buy to get that print run done with that fabric. So how cool is that? I just love that. And it's from my bestie, so I'm happy about that too. So
on the table.
So
We'll get down.
One more thing, and this is a big thing. Our friend Dot Kaywood is a magnificent stitcher. She's part of the, I think it's the Embroiderers Guild down in Victoria, and she's been such a kind friend to us and supporter of us since we pretty much started, well, since we were Linen Threads, but since we started Fox and Rabbit. And as we've always said, you know, we buy a lot of samplers, but wherever we can borrow or, you know, license them from museums, we do that too. But, you know, we've had a lot of people who have very generously, and I've still got to reproduce a lot of them, loaned us their samplers or given us permission to reproduce their samplers. Very, very kind people, and we always appreciate it so much. Well, Dawn has been super kind. She sent me just in the mail a while back a sampler which I've now reproduced. We've released it on Patreon, but it's being stitched, and that will be a future release. So that's one of Dot's samplers. But she also sent with that sampler, these I'm hoping to have released at market next year, all going well, just charting them. But this will be a pair that we're releasing. This, what I think, are they both pheasants, Brenda?
Yeah.
But they're absolutely beautiful. So anyone who likes, oh, actually, can we just grab that? So, because it's like from a, so she took these out of the, I mean, that's the other thing. She took them out of the frames for us. But that's one beautiful bird. And it's great because I get to see the colours on the back as well. So if I'm not sure about a colour, but they've been done in silks, so they've got the most silks and wool. So they're the most beautiful sheen. The birds have all been stitched in silk and the wreath in wool. So that's one. Just showing you these just because as soon as the design is finished, I'll be sending these back to Dot. So, but how kind. She took them out of the frames and everything, so it's easier for me to chart. And she posted them to me. Don't even start, Peaches. Yeah, so those two plus the, as I said, the recent Patreon release. And thanks, baby. Just be really careful. Put that over there. Really careful with that. And then she sent me this past week two samplers from her friend Pam Ratcliffe, who has given us permission to reproduce these two. Just so kind. And one from Dot. So that's, actually I think, no, two from Dot, sorry. Two from Dot, two from Pam. So look for these as future releases from us. These ones are from Pam. They're simple little alphabet samplers, but they're just beautiful. So that's, what's that one called? That one's called Mary Jane Day. I don't think there's a date on that one, I don't think. It's really sweet. And this one is, this one's got some really cool things on it. This one's got some really interesting things on it, which you aren't going to be able to see there. This one's from 1781.
Lenny Reynolds.
No. That's Jenny Reynolds.
It's Jenny, is it?
Jenny Reynolds, her sampler, July 19th, 1781. But she's also got, is this the one that's got, no, it might be the other one that's got the names of the people. Oh, that's the other one. Yeah, so that's a nice early one. But again, love a little red and green sampler. I think they're so simple. They're quick to stitch. This is another little one Dot loaned us. I don't think this one's got a date, but it's a glad that I live, am I, that the day is blue, glad for the country lanes and the fall of dew. So it's a really pretty little verse too. So that's a little sweetie.
It's got a little Japanese pagoda on it.
I know, it's very unusual, that one. I wish she took them out of the frame. She's taken all these out of the frames for us. Like, how kind is this? And she's just, I think I took a photo how this was all packaged. Whenever we get something from Dot, it's always such a fabulous surprise. And she just packages everything beautifully. I didn't even want to open it. It was so pretty. It was like Christmas morning the other day. And we needed it too because we just got back to work after the whole flood thing. Brent's still yawning. This is a lovely one. This is Marion Weir, 1861. But it's great because it should be easy to research because she's got Jane, Warren, and John Weir. So I'm guessing that these are the parents. So we should be able to find Jane, we're hoping.
It's hard to get that one
Yeah, it is hard to get that one all in. But yeah, don't need glasses anyway. Just to show you the kindness of people. We bought some beautiful samplers recently as well, so they're all in the works. But she also, this was the part I really loved. A beautiful card. Everything was wrapped in. You know when you get the old dressmaker patterns that are wrapped in like patterns, all that tissue paper with the patterns. So everything was beautifully wrapped. Like I said, I'll get a photo. I'll insert a photo. This is what I opened the package to. But she gave this. She's got this for Brendan. And I just remembered something else you bought this past week, Brendan.
2 little fox pins.
What are you going to put one of those foxes on? Apart from you. You're going to wear one and you're going to put the other one. Yeah. Brendan bought a lovely new bag. And so he's been
showing a bag.
It's a fabulous bag.
It's not here.
It's not there. It's
in the back room.
But it's lovely. Brendan has an obsession with bags, and this is a really good one. It's a lovely backpack. It's by Osprey.
Yeah.
So Brent's been waiting to the Flosstube so that he can put one fox on the strap on his back, and he can put the other one on his lapel. But he had to wait until Flosstube was done. Same as my socks that are up the shop. I can start to wear those now. And then for me, she made this beautifully because, again, you know, I love bees. But look at this beautiful, beautiful thing. Look, she's even put the pins through lovely beads. These aren't glass-headed pins. She's actually found beautiful beads and put the pins through them. But this little pin keep is so beautiful. And she's even found like honeycomb fabric for the back. It's so beautiful.
Longer arms.
Well, sorry about the dogs barking. There's building going on in the house next door, and Peaches is a bit not liking the people next door building in the yard. It's getting on dusk now, so it's getting a bit creepy out there. And yeah, so Dot, thank you. It's always fun when a parcel from Dot arrives. I can't even tell you, she's such a kind person.
If I was nice, I'd give you one of these pins, wouldn't I?
Well, I'd want one if it was a rabbit, baby. But yeah, you can actually now finally get them off the card though.
But you're not having one.
You'll be wearing one.
I'm not sharing it.
Well, don't share it then.
I have no intention.
Keep your fox pins. I don't care. Yeah. So that was all our. I think we've remembered everyone, haven't we?
I think so.
I hope
That's all
so.
that was on the list.
Oh, was that all that was on the list?
Yeah.
I didn't look at the list. All right. I think we're about an hour and a half, so let's keep this under 2. What about the linen, hey?
That's going to be easy.
Okay, so we showed the linen in our last video. First of all, there's been quite a few suggestions that we should have put the names up as we're going because some people couldn't understand what we were saying. Sorry about that, but we'll put them up with this one. But we realised afterwards that we had forgotten to. So this is Brendan's favourite. I can't believe of all the linens we showed, we didn't show Brendan's favourite. But this is called Seaweed. And it's a brownie, algae kind of coloured, or seaweed coloured. Now, I know Kathy Barrick loves this one. She's got quite a few designs coming out on seaweed very soon. I think she's asked for some more because that seems to be one of her favourites. And I do love this. Brendan hates dyeing it, but he loves dyeing it because in that it's his favourite colour.
But it takes hours.
It takes a long time. I think he needs to sort of have some that are kind of like a premium colour that might be a little bit dearer to make up for the time it takes him, because this one is very, very labour intensive.
It takes 4 times as long.
Yeah, so I think a few designers have suggested that
even longer
if there's
than
a premium, Black Swan's another one that takes a long time. The ones that do take, well, I said this takes about 4 times as long, probably should be like a premium colour or something like that, and then if it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But anyway, this one's called Dragon Fruit. So yeah, that's pretty close to it. It's a purpley pink. Dragon Fruit. Probably, if you had to pick one that was our least popular seller, would it be Dragon Fruit?
Yeah. And
but
Watermelon Ice.
And Watermelon Ice. But then I know Michelle Bendy Stitchy just released 3 new designs. I think they were on ballet slippers, Watermelon Ice, and Saltbush. So, you know, 2 of our really popular ones. And then the one that she did on it was a bee, I think, or something. It's fabulous. The one she did on Watermelon Ice looks fantastic. So, you know, you sort of think, gosh, what am I going to stitch on a bright pink and things like that? It looks fantastic. The colours really pop. So, never say never. Now, the other thing, so what is that? That's what I thought. Okay, I meant to mention this last time. 25, well, at this stage, I think the list is growing. 25 designers have signed on to stitch a design. It's the theme is called Autumn Garden, and it's under the banner of X Stitch or Cross Stitch the Rainbow. Now, a few designers got together, a bit like the Moo the Merrier and the Meow the Merrier, I think, that we had at Expo, the last 2 expos. This one is called Autumn Garden. Now, it's not necessarily all the designers that are attending Expo, because we are not going to be able to, because we get back from the United States that day, the day of Expo. So, but I said, well, I'm happy to do one if we don't have to be attending. And no, there's quite a few designers that are actually designing for it that are not doing Expos. So now, what the idea is that we all stitch something under that theme, or design something under that theme. It's got to be 60 by 60, so it's a good quick stitch. And so all my mums. And the colours, we can only use these 4 colours. You cannot use anything else, which was and these are from Cottage Garden Threads. So these are the 4. Now, you didn't have to use all 4 of them, but you have to use no more than the 4 of them. So I know some designers, I think, have used the 3 solids and not the variegated, and vice versa, you know, all sorts of things. I've used all 4. I've actually got 2 designs, and I'm going back and forth. I've got to start stitching it because it's got to be released, you know, by Expo, which is at the end of August. But it's going to be a quick stitch because they're only 60 by 60. But these are the beautiful colours from Cottage Garden Threads. So they're the ones that were chosen, which have been pretty easy to design with for an autumn garden. My only thing was, every time I came up with a design, sorry about Peaches barking, there's just nothing we can do about it. We're almost finished. So every time I came up with a design, I needed a black or a dark brown. Every single design I came up with, I thought, I don't have a black or a dark brown or a, so I was like going back and forth thinking, oh my gosh, if only there was one more color. But no, I was determined to do it, and in the end I come up with 2 designs. I think I prefer one, Bren prefers the other, so I'm just wondering whether I stitch them both up and we release them one, I don't know, for both of us. I don't know. I don't think it'd be a problem if we had, it was no different when we did when we did the Moo the Merrier, I was still designing under Blackberry Rabbit at that point. So we had one from Blackberry Rabbit and Fox and Rabbit. So maybe we just do one each. Bren gets to pick his one, I get to pick mine, and we release the two of them. But there's 25 designers, some great designers. So this is the Facebook group. It's called either Cross Stitch or X Stitch the Rainbow Stitch Along. So I think this is designed so that you can purchase all the charts or the charts that you like that are going to be released. I think the designers who are not attending may be releasing it just slightly before and around about the same time. I'll have more details on that on the next video. All I know at the moment is that, as I said, we are stitching them in these 4 colours, and I've done 2 designs. As I said, Bren likes one, I like the other, so I think we'll release the 2 of them. I'm certainly going to stitch both and see what they stitch up like. So if you follow that Facebook group, join that Facebook group, all the information will be there along with all the list of the designers, the sneak peeks, how you can buy them, and everything. I've got to find out a bit more details on exactly about the release dates and stuff too. I just know that I have to do it 60 by 60 with these 4 colours with an autumn garden theme. So at least the designs are done. I'll start stitching the models this week. You can pick your favourite. I picked mine. I knew as soon as I showed Bren both designs that he'd like one and I'd like the other. I just knew it. So I thought, well, what do we do now? So I thought, well, I'll stitch them both because, again, they will take no time to stitch. So, yeah, so X Stitch the Rainbow Stitch Along. Please join us. I'm sure there'll be ones that I want to stitch that the other designers have done, because I know there's Liz Matthews. I don't even want to start naming them all. There's the Ink Circles. There's so many designers. Bendy Stitchy, Wild Violet. Ryan from Wild Violet is sort of running the group. Because I know Abby Topknot, I think she's actually doing, I'm pretty sure she's going to be selling these floss packs of the cottage garden threads. So anyway, all the details that I'm very vague on will be on that stitch along group.
It's good to see you're organised.
Like I said, I knew I had to design it, and they were the parameters I had to design in. I've got to get my act together and get more involved and see what else we have to do to get that all released. It's not till the end of August, so we're all good. So yeah, so have a look at that. You can also follow, I think it's X Stitch the Rainbow on Instagram as well, and you can see, oh, that's the hashtag, I think. So you'll see the designers as they're all starting to do sneak peeks now. So as I said, I can't do a sneak peek because I've actually got them printed, just not started yet.
That's your slack.
No, I think I've done pretty well. I've done 2 designs. I'm pretty happy. I only signed on to do this a couple of weeks ago. So
should have been finished, framed, and ready to go by now.
Yeah, I should have. The only good thing is they are 60 by 60, but yeah. Next time I'm going to ask them, can they please put a brown or a black in there? Just one more colour, and I would have had a million other designs I could have done. But I hope everyone likes what we've done. So, well, what we've done.
What we've done. I've done nothing.
You got to dye the linen for me. 32 count I'm going to need. Well,
okay.
And that's it.
Waffling on a bit.
We are waffling on now because you can tell we're tired. I think we've still kept it under 2 hours.
Well, we're still got bits to go yet.
Oh, haven't we finished?
You've got your plans, and then we've got the giveaways.
Okay.
So we're still a little way to go yet.
Okay.
Plans, Karen.
My plans, baby boy. Well,
what are you doing in the next 2 weeks?
In the next 2 weeks, I will be doing a lot of cutting and serging and ironing. That will be my primary focus every day. I'm going to get my hair dyed tomorrow because my hair appointment for the stage 2 of getting this lightened was while we were flooded in. So thankfully my hairdresser can get me in tomorrow. Basically, I'm just going to keep getting this fabric ready for Bren. Our biggest focus is just getting everything out. I will be starting to stitch my model for the Homespun exclusive group on Facebook. That's being released in October. So it's designed. Just finalising the floss now. I'm tossing up between Cottage Garden, Classic Colourworks and Weeks Dye Works. It's hard because I designed it sort of in DMC and it's perfect, but I've got to do it in Overdyes. So I will get that finalised the next day and start that model. So as far as I know, I'm allowed to, and I'll double check this with Julie from the Homespun group, I'm pretty sure I can start showing sneak peeks so that I can't show the whole thing, but it's a sampler that I'm just in love with. So much so I'm stitching the model myself because I want to also, I may have to make changes as I go. So I will be starting that. That'll probably be one of my main traveling pieces when we go overseas as well. And that's it. So finalise the cottons for that. Get those floss colours to the shop that we're partnered with for that release so she can order those. And that's basically it. And I'm just going to continue stitching. I want to keep up to date with the Supernatural sale. So luckily those little creatures usually only take a day to stitch. So I will keep up to date with that. And I want to keep up to date on that Strawberry Stitch Along and Ghoul Tide Welcome. And that's me. And get my hair dyed tomorrow.
Okay.
Get the grey washed out. And continue lightening my hair. What?
I'll just be dyeing fabric.
I was going to say, I know what Brendan's going to say. His life is going to be eat, drinking and sleeping, dyeing fabric at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing what other colours I can make my arms.
I was going to say, he looked like somebody beat him up this morning. Yeah. He had all red dye down his arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing, obviously, I've got to work on my Patreon, the 2 Patreon releases, which we will release just before we go over to the States. Everything's booked for our trip.
Yep.
So ready to go. And the good news is we don't have to have a PCR now, which was all very stressful before we left last time. We don't have to have
COVID test.
A COVID test for the plane, which last time we actually literally isolated at home for 2 weeks just in case, didn't we? So, yeah, that's not much with plans.
No.
Oh, one thing I do want to show you too. One thing I did finish. My friend Marg McGorphy stitched Rose Wreath by GGR for me a few years ago. What happened was we framed it temporarily, which is why there were some rust stains around the outside. That will now be framed correctly. But I only did it temporarily because Marg we realised after I got it back, a lot of the border hadn't been finished. So I thought, oh, I've got to unframe. You know, I only put it in a temporary frame while we were doing some shows because we were selling the chart.
10 years ago or something.
Oh, it was a long time ago. And I just never got back to it. I know how I just, life. Anyway, so I thought I've got to get that thing finished because I love it and I want it on the wall behind us up at the new studio. So I unpinned it, and of course they weren't stainless steel pins or anything like I would do if I'm really properly framing something, because I normally lace and everything, which I will do for this. It hasn't damaged the actual work. It's just it's around the edge. But I finished stitching it last. Was it last night while I was watching the tour? Yeah. So this is Rose Wreath by GGR. So that will be getting stretched properly.
So are you taking full credit for stitching it now that you stitched 2 motifs in it?
I brought it home. I finished it off. No. So she did a beautiful job on this, but it was quite a few years ago. But that, so I just stitched the flowers, some of the flowers down the left-hand side. So that's beautiful. The good news is because we had it temporarily framed, the frame still fits. I just have to now stretch it correctly, not with dodgy household pins that I just did to get us through a show once. Luckily, it wasn't framed by a framer because we would have got it framed and realised all the flower buds down the side were missing. How I missed it and how Marg missed it for a long time, it's completely beyond me. I only noticed it when I was at the show, at one of the craft shows we were exhibiting at, and I looked up and thought, a customer said, what happened to the side? And I looked at it and I thought, there's flowers all missing down that, and thankfully I knew I had only temporarily framed it. Like I said, I should have immediately taken it out when I got home, which was the intention. It was a while ago. It was not 10 years ago, but it was probably 6, maybe 7. But anyway, so that's beautiful, and that will be getting framed, and I love it. In fact, I actually saw somebody once finish this off. And that beautiful, what they did is they framed it, and then that beautiful wreath in the middle, they had it framed behind them, and then in a bowl underneath it, they also stitched that beautiful wreath, put their initials in the middle and made a lovely pin pillow out of it. And they had that on display underneath the entire sampler, which I've always thought was a beautiful idea. So because that's now officially finished, we have the chart. So I thought, well, we'll give the chart away.
I don't have the chart.
Oh, I've got the chart here somewhere. Where did I put the chart? Here it is. So we've got the chart that was originally used to stitch that, which is...
No, that's a brand new chart.
Oh, no, that's... What did I say?
You said you've got the chart that was originally used to stitch
Oh,
that.
no, I don't mean... This was from stock that we had left over from the shop. I don't know what I'm saying.
It's a brand new chart. It's never
a brand
been
new chart. What I meant is that Marg used to stitch this, but not this chart. Oh, what on earth are we even talking about, Brendan? Stop it, I'm so tired. So that's the chart. It was stuff we had still. We had a couple of charts left over from when we had linen and threads. I don't know why it wasn't as... We thought this would be a huge seller, this one. This and the cow one.
Let's just talk it down.
No. I think some people get... Also, Bren's right. I think when we got it from Gigi, who's an amazing designer, I think back then a lot of people were not doing samplers that were perceived to be a little bit more difficult. Do you think? I mean, a lot of people are stitching simpler kind of things,
well,
and I think it is only cross stitch. But but I think because it's a big cross stitch, and they'd see that, and that was stitched on 40 count. And I think I know at the shows a lot of people said, "Oh my gosh, that's stunningly beautiful, but that's too hard for me to do." And I'd say, well, firstly, you don't have to stitch it on 40 count, and secondly, it's just cross stitch. My whole thing about... If they got specialist stitches, yes, sometimes that can be a little bit more of a challenge than just cross stitch, but not, just takes a bit of time and practice. But this is just cross stitch. So I've always said to people, it doesn't make any difference if you do a tiny little pin pillow or you do Dutch Beauty. It's all the same stitch. It just means that will take you longer than a little beginner piece. That's the only difference. Gigi's charts are beautiful and clear. They're really beautiful charts to follow. The only thing is that one does have, and you wouldn't have to do it if you didn't want to, the verse is over 1. So, yeah. So, if you would like to win that, just say Rose.
Yep. In the comments.
In the comments. So, yeah. And speaking of comments, oh gosh, I keep remembering things. We have a stack of comments from our last video, and I have been going through and reading them. I will comment on them all. We honestly have just been up there day and night. I haven't had time to properly answer everyone's comments. We really appreciate them all. I will go through them this week, along with the new ones that come in from this video, and I will read and comment on all of them. But it's just been crazy busy.
Yep.
So speaking of giveaways,
and also if you want to be in the draw, you've got to make sure your details are on the Google form as well. So the link is below for the Google form.
Yeah. Thank you so much to everyone who did that for this current draw that we've just done.
Yeah. So it's the same Google form. We're going to carry it forward. So if you've already put your name and your details on there once, you don't need to do it again. Going forward, only people that have their details on the Google form can actually win.
Yeah. We just don't have time to
When we do the
people.
draw, we'll be checking that your details are on the Google form. If they are, then we'll use that to contact with you and confirm your address. We'll double confirm your address to make sure it's going to the right place, just in case you've moved or something's changed. But if your details aren't there, it's almost impossible for us to find out who you are unless we already know you personally from YouTube. They don't let us access any of your details,
which is perfectly understandable. But we've had so many unclaimed prizes, as I know we've mentioned in previous videos, but to stop that happening, we want to give this stuff away. And so you have to have filled the Google form out. Your details are not shared with anyone. It's just so we can contact you, and then we can get your address and everything off you.
Yep.
So it makes Bren's life a lot easier. He stresses very badly.
I've got some charts in my office on the floor that we haven't been able to give away.
And we also don't know if somebody has contacted us, and we just, that if you contacted us and we haven't responded immediately, we didn't get it. So we don't even know sometimes if somebody may have, they may have left a comment on some social media post or something, and we've got no idea. do we? So the only way is that we contact you to say you've won. Could we now have your address? And life is a lot easier.
Yep.
So a lot of you have already done that, so we really appreciate it. Thank you.
So last Flosstube we had 2 T-shirts to give away.
Yep.
So here are the winners of those T-shirts. We'll be in contact later tonight.
Yep.
To just confirm your sizes and get those
And address.
shirts ordered for you.
Mm-hmm.
And also the winner of the
Dutch Beauty Chart. That was donated by
an anonymous person.
I wasn't going to say it. You thought I was going to say it. I wasn't going to say it.
You were going to say it.
I was just about to say it by the lovely person who knows who they are, who donated anonymously. Well, I can't say it now. Anonymously. So, yeah.
Yeah, and he's the lucky person who won that. And again, we'll be in contact.
So many people wanted this chart. And everyone wanted the T-shirt too. So that's why there's so many comments. I was a bit overwhelmed with how many there were. And I thought, oh my goodness, I have to sit down and answer these when I have 5 minutes. So thank you so much for that. I think that's about it, isn't it, Brent?
Yep, I think we've run out of words.
I think so. I honestly did think this was going to be a short video.
It was never going to be because we haven't spoken to anyone other than you and I for weeks.
And we're nearing...
Except for the Zoom this morning where you talked everyone's head off there too.
It wasn't me. I was just talking to everyone and they were talking to us. This one who didn't even stitch on the video this morning.
I was too busy doing work.
He was answering emails all morning, so yes. But, listen, thank you everyone too for subscribing. We really appreciate it. We're nearing 9,000 people now, and we really appreciate it.
Almost at the 10,000 where we're giving away that
Yes, we are still giving away that antique sampler, which we'll have up at the studio soon, so we'll be able to show you that next video again, just to remind everyone. When we do hit that 10,000, we will be giving that antique sampler away. So like and subscribe if you like. It'll only go to a subscriber, the sampler. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for that. In actual fact, Brent and I were just talking before this video, and we were talking about what number we're up to. And then it occurred to me, it was 12 months, and I remember because it was when we lost our Toby, our dog. We forgot to mention the fact that we were 1 year old floss tubing.
We're older than a year.
Completely forgot it was back in June, so we well and truly missed it. So, yeah. So we had our 1 year anniversary about 6 weeks ago. So thank you so much. Honestly, and Brett was laughing. He said, we're at 22. Technically, if we were on our regular 2-week schedule, which we really want to try to do, we should be about 28, yeah. So, but again, that's one of the things that when we get set up there, we'll say to the girls this morning, we want to film on a Friday afternoon when we've finished work. We'll do the video before we leave. Brent can edit it probably Saturday morning or something and get it up early on the weekend, so it'll be a regular thing. You never know, we could even do it weekly. I was wondering that the other day. If it was weekly, it would be a short one. So a lot of people said they prefer the long one. As you all know, I like a long video. It's why I love Sunshine Stitches.
Well, if we're doing it weekly, you need to learn to edit.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, maybe not. But I like a long video. Like I said, Sunshine Stitches, Brenda and Laura are usually around about the hour. I love Sunshine Stitches because they're usually about a minimum hour and a half. So I like a long one. I hate it when somebody I love does like a 30-minute one because I'm like, I was just, I like to be, stitch with them while they're floss tubing. But if you prefer a shorter one, let us know. But I think Brent's like, don't even ask the question.
We're not doing it weekly.
Okay, we're doing it fortnightly.
If we're doing it weekly, you're doing one on your own every second week.
No, it's not going to happen. I may stream on my own though. We were talking about that this morning though. I might do a stream at one point because obviously Brent's just too busy with the dyeing, but that might be something because I've got to stitch models. That's going to be part of my day once we catch up too. So maybe the days where it's part of my day to model stitch, I might stream for a couple of hours just from up at the studio. That would be when we get back. So, and once Brent has all the equipment set up. So just watch your space. We might do that.
I need to go shopping.
Yes, I knew you'd be happy about that. So yes. All right then, well, thank you so much, and hopefully this is the last time you'll see us in this environment.
Although it mightn't be.
But it might be, just depending on how crazy it gets before we leave in 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks today until we fly to the States. So we just may not have time to fix that space up. So it might be that we get back in. The more I think about it, it's more likely. We will do one more video before we go, but it might be our last one here.
Yeah.
And then we might get back from holidays and have it from the new space. In fact, the more I say it, the more likely that's probably definitely going to be happening. So Brent's like, yep, that sounds good.
Yep.
But until next time, as I said, like, subscribe, have a great week, and keep stitching, and we'll see you, I promise, in 2 weeks, definitely before we fly out to the States. Bye.
Bye.